Hello, welcome to Tiny Treasures. Does God know your name? Has Jesus called you by your name? What's a name anyway? Why is a name so important? Webster's dictionary defines a name as a distinctive designation of a person or a thing. In Hebrew, the name means nature, its essence, or your character. In the world today, people often relate our name and our actual worth to how we act, who we hang out with. Proverbs 22:1. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. When Jesus calls us by our name, it's one of the most beautiful things in the Bible. It shows his intentionality, his intimacy, his authority. When Jesus says someone's name, it's never casual, always purposeful. It's always personal and full of meaning. It's intentional. It is our Creator calling out to the dust that He spoke into existence. Absolutely no one can say your name like Jesus does. When He speaks our name, we are instantly touched by His love. One reason Jesus calls us by name is to reveal relationship, a relationship that He desires with us. When Jesus speaks someone's name, He's not identifying them. He's inviting them to Himself. He's calling them to intimacy. John 20:16, Jesus said to her, Mary. She turned and said to him, Rabboni, which is to say, teacher. Mary Magdalene stood alone at Jesus' tomb. She was broken. Her world was crumbling. The one who saved her, who freed her, the one that loved her unconditionally, he was gone. He was dead. She wept. Life would never be right again. Life was hopeless. How could she go on? She thought she believed him when he told them that he would resurrect. She thought it would happen. But now it was all lost. He was gone. There was no chance he would ever return to them. As she weeps, she looks up. Seeing the gardener, she begs him, please tell me what you've done with my Lord. The least that she could do, and perhaps the last thing that she could do to serve her Lord, was to anoint his body properly. All at once, everything changed with one word. Mary doesn't recognize Jesus until he says one word, Mary. Her name becomes a key that unlocks her faith, her hope, and her recognition. Like Mary, Jesus calls our name even when we're angry, confused, when we're grieving, or when we're overwhelmed. Sometimes Jesus calls people by their name to correct them, but Jesus doesn't avoid hard truth. He just delivers the truth to us with tenderness. Luke 10:41 and 42 tells us, and Jesus answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things, but one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen that good part, which will not be taken away from her. Jesus speaks Martha's name in order to reveal an important truth to her. Martha, Martha. The double name in Scripture signals importance, deep affection, and urgency. He wasn't scolding her, he was redirecting her to the truth. Jesus corrects us to free us, to free us from distractions, not to shame us. Jesus corrects us to bring us in line with the truth of his word and to give us peace. John 10:3 says, to him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep hear his voice and calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. This is not a metaphor of distance. It's a picture of personal care. In Israel, shepherds would often put their sheep inside the fence at night. Then the shepherd would lay across the entrance. This protected the sheep so that they could not get out and nothing could get in to harm the sheep. The shepherd actually became the door to the sheepfold. We also see Jesus as the door. John 10:9 says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. We see many references to Jesus as the shepherd. Let's look at one important reference in the Old Testament. Isaiah 40:11 says, He will feed his flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs in his arms and carry them in his bosom and gently lead those who are with young. We also see Jesus called the chief shepherd. 1 Peter 5:4 says, And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. Let's take a quick look at how the shepherds personally cared for their own sheep. Shepherds in Israel named each individual sheep, and those sheep responded only to their shepherd's voice. The shepherd would carry the hurt and the sick lambs in his bosom until they were recovered. The chief shepherd would lead the sheep from the front of the flock, not from the back. Like Jesus, he doesn't drive us. He leads us. He leads us personally. He leads us according to our name or our nature. Just as a father deals with his kids in different ways according to their personalities, so the shepherd deals with us. Some of us must be dealt with in quietness and calm, and others must be dealt with using strength and force. How does the Lord deal with you? What does it take to get our attention? What moves you from lethargy to action? Sweet, calm love, does that move you, or forceful strength? Well, our time is up for this tiny treasure, so we're going to stop here. We'll finish this lesson next week. You don't want to miss it because we are going to hear how Jesus called some important Bible heroes by their names. I hope everybody out there has a Jesus kind of day. Hugs.